What does it take to transform a chunk of the world's earth into a nation? A nation that has a soul, beliefs, and principles. It takes people, all kinds. But people and land are not enough. It takes money, muscle, enterprise. To build a country, you need foresight, science to probe problems and seek solutions, medicine to ease suffering, technology to save time, to free manpower, to compete with other modern nations. But most of all, you need vision to build a nation. Hadassah has that kind of vision. When you drop a pebble into the water, the ripples go out to eternity. What happens when you drop a school into Israel? What is the power of an educational pebble in the building of a country?
It was in 1942 when Henrietta Salt built up the medical field in Hadassah and thought that Hadassah has to enter into some small pilot projects in education in order to show to Israel what should be done in education in accordance with modern methods. Hadassah pioneered in vocational education, in a new approach to vocational education, with the opening of the Seligsburg School and the Brandeis School. Vocational education was a neglected field here. It was a trade training. And this was the reason that Hadassah entered educational fields and started with their first project, the Seligsburg School.
The Seligsburg School, and later the Brandeis Institute, were something new and different. They provided young boys and girls with an academic background in addition to a profession. The State of Israel has, from its beginning, coped with a problem arising from the rapid absorption of immigrants from the far corners of the earth. A large segment of the youth from culturally deprived backgrounds became dropouts when they could not keep up with their more affluent and westernized classmates. The Hadassah Vocational Guidance Institute assists through testing and counseling in placing young people in schools best suited to their abilities and interests. Israel's human resources are not allowed to be wasted. The Vocational Guidance Institute channels people in the direction where they can use their potential and achieve satisfaction. In an advanced society like Israel of today, people who are not trained lack the ability to integrate, creating problems of social unrest. The Seligsburg Brandeis schools also help with the vitally necessary task of social integration by developing respect for the traditions and folklore of the past.
These are some drawings based on old costumes brought to Israel by various nationalities. When I came to Israel, all we knew in art and embroidery was a Russian rubashka with a very dull cross-stitch. We used the antique clothes that I collected for the school, not only as models for educational purposes in school, for drawing, etc., but also for dancing. We really used them in life.
glory days of America, it was a school that served as the melting pot for new immigrants and helped fuse them into one society. In Israel, too, East meets West, Sephardic Jew meets Ashkenazi Jew, Arab meets Israeli in the classroom. After young men and women graduate from the Seligsburg Brandeis schools, they go to work all over Israel.
I was the first Arab to go to do the laboratory course at the Seligsburg school. We have a hospital of 120 beds, and I'm now in charge of the laboratory here. I think the course have helped me and many others in Nazareth here to come back and work among our community here and give them our help.
Young women from different backgrounds come to learn at the Seligsburg School. When they graduate, many of them continue working after marriage and family. They enter professions in the medical field. They have a real opportunity to use the professional skills they have acquired in school, and in return, they gain satisfaction and material rewards. I asked Yael Shimoni why she thought her schooling important.
Well, I think that Seligsburg School gave me two things. One, that I can get a profession, and second, that I can continue to study in the university.
Yael is happy with her work and family. She lives comfortably in Jerusalem with her husband and daughter. Hadassah, in providing educational services to young men and women in Israel, has made an investment not just in buildings and in equipment, but also in human beings. Susan Tapuchi, a recent Seligsburg graduate, is also a lab technician. She is assisting now in research related to human pregnancy and is determined to advance in her profession.
I want to continue studying and maybe to be a doctor.
Susan lives in an unfashionable area on the outskirts of Jerusalem. She is one of 6 children in a family which immigrated to Israel from Egypt. Susan works full-time 6 days a week in the lab and takes advantage of the evening classes given by the newly opened Hadassah Community College, the first and only one of its kind in Israel. The college offers a combined 2-year academic and professional training program for the professions of laboratory technician, medical and scientific secretary, computer technologist, and scientific photographer.
The aim is to set an example. Henrietta Salt and Hadassah women believe that in setting an example, more is done sometimes than by fulfilling large needs that very seldom can be fulfilled.
A working student who attends the community college is Hepsi Venunan.
I study from 8 o'clock till 1 o'clock, and after that I have to work 8 hours. I find that my studies help me in my work. For instance, when the doctors dictate me medical records, I can understand them, and it is an important thing.
The college began to make ripples as far away as Sweden.
I heard that it was a very good place to learn for a laboratory technician, very high standard. I hope to be able to do research, and I hope that Hadassah will continue to help students so that we can use what we have learned here.
Hadassah is, in fact, working with every means at its disposal to help the students. Some of the most accomplished people in Israel serve as consultants.
In a modern society, there is a need for somebody who will be the link between the high qualified people and those who are not qualified. And the technician is actually the link between the two classes of people. And by having qualified technicians, we can save valuable manpower and give them the right jobs. And this is really the advantage of giving such an education to the younger people.
Where does Israel get trained technicians to fill the places opening in long-established fields or in fields entirely new to the country? Some of the manpower and women power will come from the Hadassah Community College. One such student is Tammy Kalnick.
I was in the Zionist youth movement in South Africa, and I came together with this group to Israel. So I spent a year at university, but I then decided that I wanted a more practical course and came to study at the Hadassah College, and so far I've been satisfied with the course.
Panina Zalmanovich is one of the thousands of Russian immigrants who are beginning a new life in Israel. Panina was accepted at the Hadassah Community College and is learning to be a medical technician. For Panina and her family, the freedom of living as Jews in a Jewish state is a joy unequaled. Both her mother and father work. Her younger sister is at school, and Panina will soon finish her course and start contributing directly to her new country as a trained professional. Miriam Popovici was born in Romania and now studies at the college.
Terminology, and because I like something practical. I want something in my hand, and I feel I have it.
The secretary is an essential link in every working group, and formerly we had to take these people green without any skills whatsoever and do in-training in order to make them useful to us. Now we have their skills offered to us on a silver platter.
Stanley Wolf from Schenectady, New York, is an American who has integrated into Israeli society.
I plan to work as a photographer here in Israel. I learned about this course last October, right before the course started. Looked into the syllabus, and it was just a fantastic program of studies that was sort of outlined, going into great detail in theoretical studies in the theory of photography, the technology of photography, color photography, optics, physics, everything that I felt would be essential for one who was to learn photography.
Stanley's friend, Moshe Weinberg, another student, is a Sabra. His interest in photography is close linked to the history of Israel.
I have decided to learn photography in a purpose to learn a profession, and after it to use it in the field of research in archaeology.
Scientists can waste a great deal of time, which is expensive time, photographing things on his own. It's much more efficient to employ a skilled scientific photographer to do the job for him. The community college provides a basic education in photography, which is very important. It's not so important that the student should learn each individual technique of scientific photography. In fact, it's not practicable. There are so many of them. What they should learn is basic photography so that they can apply their knowledge to any particular situation that arises.
We're all the time doing something. We're taking pictures. We try new things. We try to make out nice things from everything we can photograph. I love that work. I love doing it. And I'm trying every time to do my best, and sometimes it just doesn't come out the first time, and I have to try again and again.
I came from Poland 2 years ago. Photography was my hobby in Poland, and now I have chance to study.
The need for skilled computer programmers and systems analysts in Israel by far exceeds the supply. Israel, as a developing nation, is undergoing the process of industrial and technological revolution. It is in transit between the past, a footpath across the Red Sea, and the future, a jet trail to the moon.
The computers are used in Israel for many things: industry, defense, government. Those people who are going to go out of this college are going to spread around in all the economy. In every place, they are needed badly. We are now having about 200 systems of computers, and we are turning to more complex systems and more sophisticated applications.
I think it's a work that you have a big field where to work and to discover a lot of things about a machine who can think and to help the man to think and to solve problems that for many it's almost impossible to arrive at.
Samuel Schenfeld, like most Sabra students, has already served in the Army, and now he plans for his future.
In 10 years I hope to be or a good system programmer or maybe a head of a computer company.
Samuel has a wife to support, and they are expecting their first child. They are working terribly hard to make their dreams come true. They are not only students, they are whole people. Many earn their own living. They aren't the kind to sit in classrooms for years and come out in the end with overdeveloped intellects and underdeveloped personalities. They bear the responsibility for what kind of country Israel will be in the future. These students, like students in the rest of the world, have a lot on their minds. They worry about their courses, their teachers, their grades, how they'll get a job, money, their love life, their parents, the future. For them, the future includes the radical changes that must take place inside Israel if this tiny country is to hold a position among the modern nations of the world. These young people weren't born when Israel became a state, nor were most of them alive when Hadassah began to develop the Seligsburg-Brandeis schools. Hadassah had a vision a quarter of a century ago and set powerful forces in motion. And today, the reality that Hadassah women built stands in Jerusalem, the first community college in Israel. And what has been given will be returned 1,000-fold as a chunk of this world's earth is transformed into a nation.